We are breaking into programming to bring you breaking news happening right now in Winston-Salem. Two schools are on secure hold after a shooting in the area of Leinbach Park. This is happening on Sally Kirk Road near the intersection of Robin Hood and Polo Roads, a very busy part of town. Winston-Salem police telling us that officers are responding to a fight just before 10 this morning that escalated to a shooting. Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools says that Jefferson Middle School and Mount Tabor High School are on secure hold right now. And we just got some information into our newsroom moments ago. Initial investigation suggests that a planned fight involving several young people escalated at a park, leading to multiple people shooting at each other. There are multiple victims. Suspects remain outstanding. This information coming from the Winston-Salem Police Department, and they want to convey to parents that your students are safe inside of the school right now.
Wanye, we are here on Norman Road, which is parallel here to Sally Kirk Road, where this incident took place. We're on the edge of the park, and you can see this police perimeter with heavy law enforcement still here. This is just off of Robin Hood Road. You can see Mount Tabor United Methodist Church, where we just learned that their after-school programs will be closed, as you just mentioned. And you can see not a lot of activity except for on Robin Hood Road itself. There are state troopers here helping direct traffic, keep people away from this area. Now, folks might be familiar with this more business-heavy area, but on the other side of Jefferson Middle School and Leinbach Park, there is a web of residential areas. I spoke with some neighbors who happened to be home during this time. I spoke with one woman who said that she was working from home when she heard about 8 to 10 sounds, popping sounds, and she described these as sounding like a nail gun. She didn't really think anything of it until she saw the heavy police presence coming down the road. And similar story from another family who said they were grateful that their child was not in any of the schools that are on secure lockdown right now, having heard some of those sounds. And another man who is simply working on his home, he didn't know what was going on until he saw that heavy police presence coming down the road. Just a split screen of what we know happened in this park that has turned deadly.
You've been listening to local law enforcement officials giving details regarding this morning's deadly shooting at Leinbach Park. 2 people dead, 5 injured after a pre-planned fight escalated. Now, we know the 2 dead are teenagers. The 5 injured range in age from 14 to 19. We do have team coverage and begin with our Kenny Beck live out by the scene for us this afternoon. Kenny?
Lindsay, good afternoon. So we learned some new information from that press conference that just wrapped up moments ago from local law enforcement leaders. As for where we are right now, this is Robin Hood Road behind me. As you can plainly see, it is business as usual here, but just behind that is that park, Leinbach Park, where just a few minutes before 10 o'clock this morning, a mass shooting unfolded. It is still taped off at this point. We have seen a number of police cars and police officers go in and out of that area. And you heard Chief Penn, you heard the district attorney, you heard Sheriff Kimbrough, among others, describing the chaotic scene. You have a total of 7 people shot, 2 dead, and I believe it was the captain, Captain Burns, who said that at this point they are not sure if any of the living gunshot wound victims may have also been participants in the shooting themselves, so firing shots and also hit by shots. There was a lot to process at this scene. And of course, all of this, again, we heard in that newser, not a school shooting, did not occur on school grounds, but absolutely had an impact on schools in this area. Jefferson Middle School is less than 1,000 feet from Leinbach Park, and Mount Tabor High School is about 1.5 miles from here. We did get a statement from Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools Superintendent Don Phipps that reads as follows. On behalf of our students, staff, families, and school board, I would like to praise the Winston-Salem Police Department and our local first responders for their work today. They quickly notified us of this unfortunate incident that happened at a local park. Following our standard response protocol, nearby schools went on secure status out of an abundance of caution. There was never any threat to students on campus. He continues, as your superintendent, I am calling on our entire community to come together to confront the gun violence that is taking the lives of our young people. It is a community responsibility that requires partnership, accountability, and action from all of us. Let's stand united to protect our children and ensure they have a safe, hopeful future that they deserve. We heard the superintendent reference our children. It is worth noting at this point, we do not have confirmation on where any of the people involved in today's incident went to school, if it was at either of the schools that are nearby Leinbach Park, or if they're even in this district. That is one of the many things that we are working to learn this afternoon. We want to continue our team coverage now this afternoon. Kelly Kendall, among others, has been speaking with people who were impacted by this. Kelly, this is a community where the schools are so near each other, and kids and families are involved in different activities, and everybody knows each other. What happens near one school impacts just about everybody. What are you hearing from people right now?
Well, Kenny, that's absolutely right. I mean, this shooting at the park happened near a middle school, near a neighborhood, near other businesses. So this affected everyone in the area, including parents. Jefferson Middle School, which I'm standing outside of, is quite quiet now, but that was not the scene around lunchtime, as many parents decided to go pick up their children early from school. I asked them how they were feeling as they waited in line to pick up their students, and there was a mixture of emotion, sadness at the death of two people. At that point, we did not know who those people were, that they were young people. I also heard frustration at the frequency that they see gun violence in our community. And then, of course, I heard concern for their children. They lined up down Thornhill Lane and Taliesin Drive waiting to pick up their middle schoolers. Now, it's important to note that this is a different route than they would normally take to pick up their students for many of them, because on the other side of the school in Leinbach Park was this ongoing active crime scene where we now know two young men died. Now, Jefferson typically lets out of school at 2:25 in the afternoon, but by lunchtime, many parents were just ready to pick up their kids. One mom in line told me she has children at both Jefferson Middle School and Mount Tabor High School, which again were on secure holds out of an abundance of caution. Like many, she first got the news of the shooting on her phone, and she described that moment to me.
Just scared. I was working from home, and you don't really know if your child's okay, first of all, at first, and then what's happening in the surrounding area at the same time. I heard a lot of sirens. I started getting messages from friends.
She went on to say that she checked with both of her students on her phone and they were both okay, but she's going to use tonight to talk with them about the gravity of the situation, which kind of just goes to Chief Penn's statements there that it's really about parents having these conversations at home with their children to put a stop to this before it can even happen. Again, we don't know exactly the circumstances that happened in Leinbach Park, but it's a message from law enforcement officials that parents are taking to heart tonight. Live outside of Jefferson Middle School, I'm Kelly Kendall for WXII 12 News. Kenny, we're going to send it back to you.
Okay, Kelly, thank you very much. I want to continue our team coverage now. Bethany Cates joins us live this afternoon from just outside of Mount Tabor High School. Bethany, this September will mark 5 years since a fatal shooting on campus at Tabor. Now, none of the students who are students there now were old enough to be in high school at that time. But for people who live in this community, who work in this community, have children or have had children, anytime something happens nearby, I have to imagine your guard immediately goes up. What are you hearing from moms and dads right now?
Well, I mean, that's exactly right, Kenny. We spoke with someone earlier who says this incident is reminding them exactly of that. But I mean, being out here for the course of the afternoon, I saw a lot of hugs and emotions pouring out right across the street from Mount Tabor High School. I'm standing right across the street, and I mean, when we pulled up, the line to get into the parking lot was circled round and around, and people were lined up, I mean, almost to the road to pick up their student. And I mean, after hearing that they were on secure hold for several hours, many parents were just looking to lay their eyes on their student. Parents says this this is hitting very close to home, with the park being just right up the street, now blocked off and still blocked off with that yellow caution tape. Parents tell me this incident is once again reminding them that times have changed and parents have to make sure, as officials just said, they are in constant communication with their children and letting them know that you love them. Piper Cox is a student at Mount Tabor and tells us it was a hard day within the walls of the school, but she's happy she is reunited with her parents.
It was scary. We were in one class the whole day, and people quickly spread, information about it, and just seeing people upset and hearing what happened, it was hard.
It's very nerve-wracking when you're at home and you get that message, and when we found out what it was, because we don't live that far from that park, it's scary and it's sad.
And I mean, just to break it down, Piper was telling me that secure hold just meant that they were in almost one classroom for the majority of the day. Another parent says that returning to school tomorrow is going to look and feel a little bit different, but they're just grateful and in constant prayers for the families who are impacted. Live in Winston-Salem, I'm Bethany Cates for WXII 12 News. Sending it back to you, Kenny.
Okay, Bethany, thank you very much. Now, our location here just opposite of Leinbach Park is not too far from the Sherwood Plaza Shopping Center, not too far from a major business area here. There are gyms, there are restaurants, there's a major grocery store. And as the chief and as the captain said earlier, this happened at a time where a lot of people who have no affiliation with this school or this park are out and about running errands. We spoke with a man earlier who was at the gym just a few hundred feet from where we are, and also owns a small business in the area. He talked about his morning going from routine to anything but.
Today I was at the YMCA working out right next door. During our workout session, there was a lot of commotion going on. We saw instructors and people just running around trying to figure out, the situation, because they were running to the front door to, I guess, barricade it or make sure there wasn't anybody able to come in. Once I kind of figured out what was happening, I wanted to make sure my staff here was okay. So I, gave a phone call for them to lock the doors and make sure that no one gets in or out. Working with the police officers and the state troopers today, they were very friendly, very informative on what they wanted to go through in the process of what they wanted. So, getting that information was critical for us making decisions on to stay open or to close. The perimeter they set and everything was spot on too. So I think they did a great job, and the YMCA did as well, trying to get their patrons to safety or keep them safe inside.
So we will, of course, continue to follow this developing story on air and online at WXII12.com. If you would like to watch today's press conference, which happened about a half hour ago in its entirety, you can find that right now on the WXII 12 News Facebook page, as well as our YouTube channel. Lindsay, again, back here live outside of Leinbach Park. It remains closed. Police tape remains up. We are at a church parking lot right across the street. At last count, there are still close to half a dozen police cars here as they are up and down Robin Hood. For now, we'll send things back to you in the studio.